Hey, David Taub here, co-creator of NextLevelGuitar.com. What's happening? Hope all is well, and welcome to part 2 of a lesson where we are taking some cool chords and adding different techniques to them. And in the previous lesson, I showed you the progression and different strumming patterns and how to take some cool chords and add things like chucking, arpeggiating, and low bass notes kind of playing. And if you haven't checked that out, be sure and check that lesson out. And now we're going to take that same progression, and this time I'm going to show you an easy and fun way on how to add single note melody lines to it. It's a little fun little trick that you can do and get really creative with. And hey man, if you'd like a free video lesson that's not on YouTube and a coinciding ebook, all for free, just click on that link below and I'll send you a free video lesson and a free ebook. The ebook is filled with scale shapes and chord diagrams. It's awesome, lots of lessons. Just click on the link, fill out the information, I'll send it to you for free from Next Level Guitar. Enjoy. The first thing we want to do is just go over the chords real quickly that we're using in this progression, the chords in the progression. So check it out. First, the D add 9 chord. And an easy way to play this is just take your first finger, lay it flat on the high E, the B, and the G string, and play that with the open D. That's actually a D major 7th chord. But now we're going to add our pinky stretch to the B string to that E note, which is on that 5th fret, and you get this chord. Isn't that beautiful? And we have our D add 9. From there we're going to a G major 7th, so just take your second finger on, put it on the low E string, 3rd fret, and your first finger is on this F sharp note, 2nd fret of the high E string. And I'm muting the A string by letting my second finger just kind of like hook over to mute it. So practice that change. It's a beautiful change, right? So practice getting that add 9, that D add 9 chord to sound good. I know it might be a little bit of a stretch, but listen how beautiful. I love that chord. I love adding notes to chords and taking notes away and hearing what you can get. It makes all the difference in the world to put in that little variation. And here, we're adding that E note, that 2nd in the key of D, on top of the 3rd, that F sharp, so that makes it an add chord. And this is the add 9. D add 9, get that open D string in there. Right, and then we're going to that G major 7. Make sure to mute that A string. And what I'm doing here, now in the intro there, over that D add 9 chord, was I was adding this little line. And on the G major 7th, I was adding something like this. Right? Adding those little notes to the strumming. And then sometimes I was strumming it, arpeggiating it, and then sometimes I was playing those notes. Right? While letting most of the chord ring out still. That's important. You got to let that chord ring so you have that in the background so it doesn't sound too fragmented, right? Okay, so you're probably saying to yourself, how do I know what notes to choose to add in there? And you could let your ear guide you and take you to those notes, but I'm going to show you a little bit more of a structured way. Besides letting your ear guide you is to find out where that chord lives, like within what scale. Does it live within a certain scale? And if so, I can use those notes, right? For instance, that D add 9 chord, or D major chord, lives right within this D major scale. Right? Here's the D major scale, and that's with our pinky on the root, 5th fret on the A string. So practice that up and back. Notice that strong major tonality, the do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Right? And that lives, there's that add 9 chord, D major living right within that scale. That scale, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, you could pick out some of the notes right within there. And resolve to that D. Right? And you're in there. So I just picked out, but you can pick out anything, but notice it's all right there within that scale. And notice when I go for it, Have that D ring out in the background. And mess around with that scale and see if you could find some cool notes to put together in a melody line. And I was doing the same thing on the G major 7th chord, but with a G major scale. So that little D major chord, or D add 9 chord, lives right within the D major scale, right here in this position. And that G major 7th chord lives in here, right within this G major scale. This G major scale looks like this. So what I did there, and again, let it ring out, and I was just playing the top parts, the G note, F sharp, 3rd fret, 2nd fret, pull off to the D, to that very strong chord tone, that 5th in the G chord. That's why it sounds so good. But you could pick out some other notes in that scale. And of course your ear can take you to those, but this is a very structured way where you might want to look at it first while you're developing your ear. And then I just kind of put it together with those chords, right? And come up with these cool little melody lines. So remember that this is not just specific for this lesson. You know, you can use this throughout your playing. When you have a certain chord, whether it be major or minor, find that appropriate scale that, if there is one, a lot of times it's right there, right in that pocket. Find it that lives there, and you'll know those notes, and then just kind of come up with a cool combination of them, and that will give you some melody lines that you can do some cool things with. Because remember, what we're doing is we're taking notes and we're doing interesting things with them. It's the same thing kind of like when I do my lead guitar lessons and whatnot. Because what is lead guitar really but taking notes of a scale, which is our building blocks, the scales, especially of lead guitar, and riffs and whatnot, and we do interesting things with them, whether it be putting them in combinations to form melodies, bending them, hammering on, pulling off, all these techniques we learn, right? Where we take the notes and do interesting things with them. Just like we could take chords and the same thing and play arpeggios where we're playing the notes of a chord separately. Or we're doing like here where we're coming up with these little riffs to fit inside a chord progression, to add interest in melody, to engage the listener, right? To make the listener go, oh wow, that's pretty cool. Because people remember melody, right? That's what people remember. That's what great songs have in them. Lots of other stuff too, like cool lyrics and whatnot, and nice sounds. But it all starts with those sounds, and that's what I base a lot of my lessons off, is coming up with cool sounds. And if you want to learn tons of more techniques like this, whether you play acoustic, electric, no matter what genre of music, because we have tons of them, go to our website, nextlevelguitar.com. It's a full-on structured guitar curriculum. I can't emphasize the structure enough, because that's what you need when you're first learning, especially in the beginner or intermediate stages. Whether it's rhythm, lead, we have it all. Beginner, intermediate, advanced. Go to that website, nextlevelguitar.com. There's over 1,150 lessons and growing, because we add new video lessons all the time. And right now I have a 3-day free pass on the homepage, so you can give the site a try. You know, watch some lessons and give the site a good test drive. And also subscribe to our YouTube channel by clicking on that subscribe button here at Rock On Good People, because we'll let you know when we have new lessons coming out and whatnot. So that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed it. So I hope you enjoyed this lesson. Experiment with it. Remember, watch part 1, put it together with part 2, blast these techniques across all your playing. Have fun. Keep putting that guitar in your hands every day, even if it's only for 10 minutes. You know, practice your chord changing, practice your chucking, practice your strumming. Use popular songs as vehicles. Tune into our website, nextlevelguitar.com, and I'll see you in the next lesson. Keep rocking. Yeah.